So this video is going to walk through how I set up a recent project in Lovable. It's going to cover planning with ChatGPT, prompting Lovable, and revising the design. Keep in mind, I am not a coder, and there is a lot that I don't know or initially get wrong. But getting things wrong is how you learn. And I really benefit from watching others work out loud, so I hope this is helpful. Enjoy.
Our Neurodiversity Employee Resource Group is sponsoring a raffle where employees earn entries by attending live events and completing learning interactions. I wanted a way for employees to check their progress, see how many raffle entries they had earned, access remaining interactions, and view available prizes. Before starting a project in Lovable, I like to plan it out in ChatGPT. I'll share my initial thoughts, then ask it to ask me questions. There's usually a decent amount of back and forth, and that really helps me think through the project on a deeper level. Maybe I'm not sure whether something is possible, or I have no idea where to start. It consistently brings up considerations and potential issues I hadn't thought about. Once I'm happy with the details we've worked through, I ask it to generate a full prompt for Lovable that includes everything we discussed. Let's look at the conversation about the project tracker. When a user enters their email to check progress, the system pulls completion details based on that email. Right now, I only have 3 objects set up for the initial build and testing before adding all the content. Behind the scenes, Lovable communicates with the LRS to pull that data. The email serves as the actor ID, and I'm using specific course IDs along with a specific verb. If there's an xAPI statement confirming the user completed the course, that course displays as completed. If not, it shows as not completed. There's no in-progress status displayed. I love planning Lovable projects with ChatGPT because it asks the kinds of questions I wouldn't think of as a non-coder. It helps me work through details before jumping into Lovable without much of a plan. For this project, I had never pulled data from an LRS before. I've been sending statements for a year now, but I hadn't built something that actually queried the LRS. This was a new function for me. As you scroll through the planning, you can see it even provides example JSON response shapes and data models. I wanted to confirm that it could successfully pull data using email, so I provided a snippet of actor.json from the LRS to ChatGPT. One thing I hadn't considered was the mail-to prefix. If it only passed the raw email, results likely wouldn't return correctly. By discussing this up front, I was able to include instructions for an edge function that transformed the input properly. I also hadn't considered case sensitivity, inconsistent actor formats, or how to manage multiple statements. Once we worked through the details, ChatGPT generated a copy and paste prompt, which I dropped directly into Lovable. One important callout: when you're sending or receiving xAPI data, you want Lovable to handle those API details in the backend edge function. That helps keep your API credentials secure. Lovable will then prompt you to provide your LRS endpoint, key, and secret. Once Lovable completed the initial build and I tested it successfully, I went back to ChatGPT to confirm things were working. I usually return to ChatGPT at this stage because it often suggests additional improvements for the next phase. Things like handling no results states or locking in actor normalization to prevent mismatches. One especially important recommendation was optimizing the LRS query. My initial build used 3 test objects, but the final version would include around 15. Without optimization, every email submission would trigger 15 separate queries. Instead, ChatGPT helped me shift that to a single query per user, then map results across all objects. Once again, it generated the updated prompt for me to paste directly into Lovable. From there, I built out the main landing page and refined the visuals. Then I returned to ChatGPT to plan the next phase, expanding the app to manage the full raffle process. I provided the expected flow and behavior, and at the end, I specifically wrote, "Don't write the additional prompt yet. Ask me any questions you have. That phrase has been incredibly helpful when planning projects with AI. For major additions, I usually go through 2 to 3 rounds of questions before asking for the final prompt. In this case, I went through 3 rounds before telling it to generate the full prompt, which I then pasted into Lovable. Later, I added another feature, a page listing all available raffle prizes. When you're building something with a large number of items, it's incredibly helpful to have Lovable create an admin page so you can manage that content yourself. If Lovable manually adds every item for you, you're spending credits on each one. But if you build an admin system up front, you only spend credits on the initial functionality and can manage future content updates yourself. As you work through this iterative process with ChatGPT, you'll notice that prompt components sometimes end up scattered across multiple responses. I don't want to dig back through the conversation piecing everything together, so once I'm ready, I simply ask it to provide the full prompt in one place. Using ChatGPT this way has become a major part of how I approach Lovable projects. It helps me think more strategically, identify technical issues earlier, and create stronger prompts before I ever start building. For me, it's less about replacing the work and more about improving how I plan it.